So the last several days, or the last month or so, I've spent a lot of time in the woods, and it's strange, but I just had to do it. I can't explain it. I don't know why, but that's what I've been doing. I just think that with everything that's been going on, I needed to get out into the woods more and enjoy God's creation while it was still here. And yes, I absolutely firmly believe that creation's being destroyed. And being out in the forest, you see it firsthand, all over the country and all over the world. They're not burning it down exclusively. The trees are also being poisoned by the chemicals that they're ingesting just like we are, and it shows in the forest really bad. I really urge people to find a wooded area, any place of creation where there's not a lot of people around, and get out there while you can now. Honestly, I can't stress it enough. I'm in the middle of a city right now, an enormous city, and there's still an enormous reservation where people aren't around at all. Almost every city in town has them. This is how I spend my time. I love doing this stuff. And then I videotape it and show other people how to do it. You know what I mean? I absolutely love it. Skills like this are going to come back into play again. That's all there is to it. And if they don't, kneeling down outside on the wet ground, starting a fire with a pocket knife and a piece of ferro rod. That's not a lighter right there. That's a ferro rod. The orange thing didn't work. But after I did this, I had to make this particular video. So here it comes. Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's Richie from Boston. Today is Monday. I don't know what the date is. It's like the 24th, 25th, whatever. Oh, it's the 27th, 2020. And I'm in the middle of the woods, as you can see. And I really felt drawn to do this video. And check this out. I've been thinking about this. Think of the United States as your home, okay? And think of the government as somebody you live with. In our country, we pay the authorities to protect our borders, and yet that didn't happen, according to them. Instead of worrying about protecting our country from attack, keeping our country prosperous and peaceful, they routinely ship millions of men and women 6,000 to 10,000 miles away to fight wars that have nothing to do with us whatsoever at all. God gave us dominion over this earth, and we've handed that dominion over to an absolute minority. The elites, the people that stole and raped and murdered way back in the day, got the money, and we've basically handed it over. We let them force us to pay to live on this earth. God put us here. We've allowed these people to force us to pay. We're the only species that pays to live on this earth. We've allowed them to distract us with newspapers, magazines, internet, etc., etc. We've allowed them to force us to go to work, pay taxes, simply to live here, instead of realizing why we're in this physical realm in the first place, what God put us here for. We fund the scientists that constantly do things like making hydrogen bombs, making bigger, better ways to kill people, designing things like CERN and ITER, things that may go horribly wrong, but we're just going to do it anyways. We allow these people to fill our home, the United States, with strangers, total strangers. We have Border Patrol, but it's like having your front door wide open. Routinely, there's people that come in here that we don't know. And then we pay these people. Do you see what I'm saying? If the United States was our home and the government was someone we live with, they're stealing everything out of our home. They're leaving the lights on, the heat on with the windows open. They're allowing strangers to come in. They just don't care. You wouldn't put up with this usually in your own home, and yet that's exactly what's happening in our country. They're running the national debt up like it's a contest, and nobody even seems to care. Nobody seems to even have an idea of what's going on. The mainstream consistently lies, and we've caught them red-handed, and people still believe it because it's easier. Myself and millions of other people not only firmly believe that we're living in the times the Bible spoke about, we've shown you a lot of evidence that you can consider for yourself that proves that that's exactly the case. You see what I'm saying? We live in a country where we're presented with two people every 4 years to vote for, because we live in a democracy, and yet a democracy is not what this country was or ever should have been. It should have been a republic. We live in a country where people believe they have the Bill of Rights, and yet free speech is long gone. Free speech is out the window. A friend of mine recently put up a video talking about showing leaked footage, talking about the virus in China. Well, I don't believe that. I don't believe that whatsoever at all, because the algorithms are in place. Algorithms, the mainstream, they dictate what people can find and what people cannot find. Event 201 in New York City in October, talking about this exact same thing. Netflix coming out with a new show called 𝗏𝗵𝗿𝗍 and how we can deal with it. The patent from 2019 for this exact virus. This isn't an organic thing that just broke away. If they've got the patent for it from 2015, then they have the antidote, and they always have. Period. Period. If you're not getting yourself ready in any way that you possibly can, if you're not actually going outside and looking at God's creation and appreciating it for what it is and the part that you play in it, you're missing out. And you're falling directly into their plan. Tell, lie, vision. They own Hollywood. They own the mainstream media. And they own the internet. And they gave us a certain amount of freedom, but now it's gone. That's just a fact. That's just a total, complete fact. So don't believe everything you read. Don't believe everything you hear. You can feel it. I can feel it. Lots of people can feel it. You need to strengthen your connection with the Heavenly Father above and understand that His Son, His only begotten Son, came to earth in the mortal form, knowing He was going to die in a brutal fashion on a cross. He did that for all of us because we were all born of sin. Why were we all born of sin? It's a long story, but it is what it is. But the best thing about it is it can all be fixed. All you have to do is believe in Yahuwah, Yeshua, Yahushua, Jesus Christ. I'm looking around right now watching the powers that be, the people that we handed the keys to our dominion over to willingly, out of laziness or ignorance, whatever it was. I'm watching them block out the sky, effectively killing off creation. And I'm doing what I can. People can say what they want, they can think what they want, but I live what I'm saying. And you should too. Or don't. It's your call. I'm out.